guys, and welcome back to another Red Eye Computing video. I'm your host as always, Sam, and today we're going to be doing the Linux Challenge. Sorry for not uploading for like 4 months. I mean, my videos are garbage anyway. If you want to go check out some actually good videos, you should go check out my friend Red Eye. He's got like way better videos. I mean, he's really just huge in general. He has like way more stuff.
Before the video starts, I just want to say this video is sponsored by PINGHOST, reliable cloud hosting at a price you can afford. Use code ROC at checkout to get 10% off your first purchase. So the Linux Challenge. Why am I wasting my time doing this? To be perfectly honest, I don't really know why. I just need ideas. And I had the idea to do this godforsaken challenge because a few of my friends at the time decided to be all edgy and do the Linux challenge and all this stuff to prove a point against Electronic Wiz 1 who like failed her Linux challenge. Now you don't know who EW1 is or Electronic Wiz 1. She is some girl who does videos on Windows and oh my god. They are just amazing.
Okay, I am testing this. I don't know if this is working or not, but this is just a test.
Fine, I'm just looking. That's it, I'm looking. That's it. That is thing. I mean, that's enough. I gotta look now, or I'm making myself go crazy by not looking. Okay.
In fact, just over a year ago, I made a video where I spoke to Julia about some like Windows updates thing. It was pretty funny.
Convince me to upgrade to Windows 10.
Okay, I can do that. Okay, Windows 10 is more secure, it's newer, and like Windows 7 and 8.1 don't even want to update properly on Windows Update. Like, hang on checking for updates, like they won't even update. And then like Windows 10.
Should I install these 2 important updates I've got?
What updates?
The ones on Windows 8.
But obviously, like, no hard feelings or anything. Like, I'm not trying to hate on Julia. Like, she does make some content that is actually pretty interesting and does get quite a lot of views. And I'm not trying to hate or anything. Like, I don't want her to start hating me because like I'm doing all this stuff. I just think some of her content is just really funny to watch. Now, anyway, she did the Linux challenge. She also failed the Linux challenge because she didn't want to learn a new video editor on Linux, which is fair enough. And I'm doing the exact same thing, and I'll get into that in a minute. But she failed the Linux challenge for some reason. I think it's because she used like another laptop or something to edit the video, and that was considered failing, and it was like, who really cares? Who's paying attention at this point? Anyway, so they did the Linux challenge to sort of like prove her wrong or something. I don't even know why they did it. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be a good video idea. I could actually make a video on like my experience using Linux, because like I've only used Linux as a server operating system through very basic bash commands, and to be honest, I don't even know what I'm doing there, to be dead honest. But you know, I get by. But I was thinking, I've never used Linux. I've never really experimented with Linux much in my life, let alone use it as my main operating system. And you know, the Linux challenge is like a week or something on Linux. I was like, okay, I'll spend a week and I will see how things go. Now, you're probably sweating with anticipation, waiting to find out what distro I'm using, and I'll get onto that in a minute. But I'm going to answer a question that's probably in your head right now. Am I going to be editing the Linux challenge on Linux? Because with the Hackintosh video, when I got the Hackintosh installed, I edited the videos about the Hackintosh on the Hackintosh, and like, it's like a niche thing that I like to do, but I'll be explaining to you the reason why I won't be editing the video on Linux. Now, when it comes to my time on YouTube, there are 3 main video editors that I used. Okay, yeah, there was another one, but we don't talk about that. Now, there's Vegas Pro. Now, I haven't used Vegas now for over a year, but a lot of the videos on my channel were edited in the software, and I can say I used Vegas for a very long time, but, you know, it had issues. Now, despite being a pretty powerful video editing package, I sounded a lot like the guy from explainingcomputers.com. It just had a lot of issues. First of all, it was just really unoptimized, and it used to lag so much. Even if I made no changes to the clips or anything, I had to run the video preview like half, and it was just so frustrating, and it was just so unnecessarily unoptimized. It also didn't have the best support for other codecs, meaning that I found myself having to convert a lot of the videos I edited in Vegas, which resulted in generally worse quality videos. It used to crash a lot as well, and if you've ever used Vegas, you will know that, oh my god, it crashes so much. And due to the fact it had no like proper timeline organization, no subsequencing, no, I don't know how Final Cut does it. I think it's got some way to be, it like lets you compress parts of the timeline into blocks. Just because it didn't have any of that, it resulted in hard to navigate and very messy timelines. Now, of course, it did work mostly for the videos I needed to edit, but editing big projects like Destruction were actually quite hard to edit with Vegas because there was a lot going on screen. The video playback was very slow. There was also a lot of crashing due to that. And again, yeah, it was just very messy and hard to do. Although it wasn't really a big deal to me at the time, the UI on Vegas is also very dated, even with the new Vegas 15 update, which I haven't used with the dark theme. It's just trying to be Premiere now. I still don't think it looks that nice, but I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. And another thing, it was confined to Windows. And around the time I switched to Premiere, I was starting to use macOS more, so it's just inconvenient having a main video editor not supported on macOS, and you had to use Windows, and it was just annoying. But yeah, I mean, Vegas served me well. I'm not trying to say it's an awful bit of software, I just had a lot of issues with it, but it did serve me well. Now, Premiere Pro. I've been using Premiere Pro for, like I said, just over a year. That's when I stopped using Vegas, and it's done really well for me. First of all, it has support for macOS, meaning that I could still edit videos when my PC didn't work, which, you know, did happen, or I was away, although I mainly used Final Cut when I was away, just because the only thing I'd be editing was, like, vlogs and stuff, and surprisingly, Premiere didn't take that long to get used to, and I now find it to be a very nice, smooth bit of software compared to Vegas, at least. I also use After Effects occasionally, not much though. I only use it if I'm like trying to do like motion tracking or just messing around with transitions and stuff, as I occasionally do. But it's mainly Premiere I use when I'm making videos on my channel, and it works really well. And the fact it has support for Apple again, it's just really useful. And I would say it's a really good bit of editing software, and I do recommend it if, you know, you can get it. And I genuinely think since I started using Premiere, the quality of my videos has been going up slowly, which is a good thing, I suppose. I just feel less limited with the software, you could say. And of course, Final Cut Pro. Now, everyone loves Final Cut Pro. You know, if you've used Final Cut Pro, you'll know that it is a really smooth to use video editor. It's definitely the most optimized video editor out of pretty much every video editor, to be honest. Obviously, it is confined to Apple, which is, you know, the reason why it's optimized, because it's Apple, it just works, you know, and it's really solid as well. Like, I've had no issues. Although no main channel videos were edited with Final Cut Pro, a few of my second channel videos were edited with Final Cut, and it is just so nice to use, and it runs so well, even on my 2012 MacBook, which is just really convenient. Rendering a video takes like half the time than Premiere does, and probably 3 times faster than Vegas, I would say. So, you know, 3 video editors, they're all pretty good, although I mainly only use Premiere nowadays. Unfortunately, if it wasn't obvious enough, none of them are supported by Linux. And that's pretty much always the way it's been. Linux was never a creative operating system, you know, it didn't have Photoshop or any other programs like that. And, you know, if you're doing creative work, then the thing is obviously don't use Linux. And a few of you are probably thinking, well, Sam, Linux does have video editors like Kdenlive, which is a bit shit. And even if there was a really solid video editor that was really good and could compete with all 3 of these video editors, I probably still wouldn't use it, just because I don't want to waste my time having to learn a new bit of video editing software just to make one video and then never use it again. It will just result in a lower quality video and more time wasted. And you're probably thinking, well, Sam, that was a really unnecessary part of the video. You didn't have to go through all these video editors. You could have just said that you don't want to edit the video on Linux. And you are totally right. I just did waste like 2 minutes just going through those video editors, and I really didn't need to. Anyway, let's get to the main part of the video now. Now, I spent a lot of time looking through a lot of Linux distros to pick out which one I thought would be the best for me. And by that, I mean I just used Ubuntu Budgie, because that's what a lot of my friends were using. Now, you're right, I probably should have put more time into choosing which distro was best for me, because I don't know, I just should have, I guess, made my experience a little better, but you know, whatever. So yes, the distro I chose was Ubuntu Budgie, and I was quite happy with my choice because a lot of people online thought it was a good choice, and I just assumed that it must be a good distro. It looked good, I suppose, for a Linux installation, I suppose. I mean, I'm not saying they look bad, I'm just saying they're like, they're just a bit schneid, you know, compared to like macOS and Windows. But, you know, it looked alright for a Linux distro, so I was like, you know what, I'll just use this one. So I downloaded it and created a VM to try out what it was like, and it was pretty smooth. Yeah, it was a bit quirky, I suppose, but I mean, what was I expecting? So a couple of days later, after my mock exams finished, I decided to install Ubuntu Budgie on my personal computer. So I loaded up the installer and then remembered that I haven't actually partitioned my hard drive.
You've got to find where you put the extra space.
Oh shit, I didn't do that.
You didn't. You can try installing alongside if you want. Oh wait.
So I booted back into Windows and started to partition my disk. And unfortunately, I wasn't very good at it.
You need disk management, don't you?
Fuck. Right. We're here. Yep.
Click shrink volume. Right, so it's gonna come up in megabytes, so you probably wanna Google megabytes to gigabytes or whatever.
Yeah, I do. Okay, so what do I do? Do I put in the amount I want it to be strinked to?
Yeah.
Actually, no. Please don't fuck up.
Lucky.
Okay, yeah. I might have done the maths wrong. Regardless, I haven't lost any data. It's all still intact, and I've got a separate partition.
It would have, like, failed if you...
Yeah, I accidentally gave it 360 gigabytes. I really don't understand this. Well, I mean, I understand it, but, like, it's just, it's really taxing my brain. This is really taxing my brain. Okay, so it's not even my maths. It's just that I've misunderstood the way this is, right?
I think...
So I need to take it off by, like that.
How many zeros is that? Because I think 100 gigabytes is 5 zeros. Oh.
Yeah, okay, I've done it correctly now. I've got 97 gigabytes now. Should I, right, now what do? Should I create a simple volume?
I probably wouldn't initialize it because you'll have 2 NTFS partitions.
Alright.
Yeah.
So should I?
You can reboot if you want now.
Right, okay, so let's, reboot.
Goodbye, Windows.
For a week. I mean, unless I fuck up and we go back into Windows. Okay, now already it's a fucking mess. The partition table, not the partition table, but the list of drives to install from. Because Linux has just gone through everything that it could possibly get its hands on in my computer.
Every device.
And it showed it up. So it's like, I need to like actually look at what I'm doing, right? And the worst part is, oh, okay, right.
You find your free space on the 1 terabyte.
Free space, that.
Alright. So, you want to click the little plus arrow down in the corner, and you want to make sure it's primary or whatever.
Yeah.
And you'll go to mount point and put in a slash.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember doing this.
Click OK, and that'll initialize it as an ext4.
Right, okay, it's been done.
Right, so select that ext4. Then you want to select a partition for boot grubs installation. So you can leave it on the 1 terabyte if you want.
Wait, so this is the right one, right?
No. That will erase the whole 1 terabyte.
Oh, fuck, okay. So what do I do?
Select dev sta5, the one that says ext4 slash. So go down a little bit.
Well, this one?
There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to leave the boot manager on the 1 terabyte, go ahead and click install.
There, install here.
You can click install.
Now.
And it'll go on that.
Budgie. Does Budgie have a D in it?
I don't know.
I feel like it does.
Yeah. I'm just being an idiot. One sec.
Let me Google it.
Yeah, I think it is. Right. Yeah.
Yep.
It is.
Okay. Choose a password. Encrypt my home folder. Nah. Alright, now we wait. Alright, okay, let's restart. Now, hopefully, you know, all my shit's intact. Oh, that was, Jesus. I thought it finished booting, but that was just a shutdown. I'm brain dead today. Actually, let's see how fast it boots. I know it might be a bit inaccurate, like, 'cause it's the first boot.
Wait, did you pick the... Oh, there you go, Grab's already come up.
Yeah, Ubuntu. Yeah. So it had perfectly fine video drivers in the setup, but you know now we're actually booted into the install. We just don't have good video drivers. Thanks a lot, fucking budgie. Okay, we need to set up the displays. I'll just minimize that. Nobody cares. Settings. I'm doing this on my other monitor. I'm not gonna bother panning the camera. Right, settings. Now, in case you're confused what is going on, I need to briefly explain what I'm trying to do. So, I have three 1080p monitors, be it they're all different sizes and different types, but the point is they're all 1080p, but unfortunately, my third monitor has a Schneid, like, Chinese adapter that I got off eBay, like, 2 years back, and the adapter doesn't actually give any information about the monitor to the computer, so in Windows, macOS, and Linux, it's just picked up as a generic monitor, and you just have to set the size. And in Windows, it will let you do all the way up to 4K. Obviously, I just have it set to 1080p. Same for macOS, but Ubuntu just didn't want to scale my monitor properly. And in order to actually scale it properly, you had to do all these terminal commands, and we managed to get it working eventually, but then after a restart, it just went straight back to normal. So I decided that it just wasn't worth the effort, and that I was just gonna have to live with one of my monitors being in like 1024 by 768, which wasn't a big deal. We did spend a lot of time trying to get that working. What? This is so crap. What is this? Alright, okay. Apply. And, ooh, there you go. Keep this configuration. And, yeah, okay. That is a lot better now, okay. But how do I know what my device is? It doesn't... All these things are saying, oh, depending on what your device is, VGA or DVI.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you see, it's VGA, but it's connected through a DVI adapter. So what the fuck is that meant to be? DVI? DVI 0? Cannot find out a DVI 0. What? DVI 2. I have no idea then. So I eventually accepted that my third monitor is just going to have to be in this low resolution and just install Discord and OBS. Now, the reason I wanted to install OBS so early was so I didn't have to keep using my phone to record everything. I could actually like have a good screen capture, and OBS was really one of the only good screen recorders I could think of that existed on Linux, so I decided to install it, and unfortunately it was a bit crappy. Alright, so you're probably going to hear this audio like fine in the video, but the raw recording of this audio is actually really quiet, and that is because my mic is not very loud right now, and I need to find a way to turn that up. OBS, as you saw just now, is also not very good on Linux. It does not have the NVEC encoder from what I know. I'm going to do a little research on that though. Just has dumb bugs like this. And because of the lack of NVEC encoder and how shit CPU support is on Linux, or just how unoptimized OBS is on Linux, I'm only getting around 20 frames on this recording, despite this being a fresh install and me always being able to hit 60 even with the software encoder on Windows and macOS. So, not a great start, but bear in mind I did have like more drivers installed there, so yeah, I really don't know what I'm doing, but I need to find a way to boost my microphone. So input. Right, this is it here. Hello? Alright, yeah, that is Jesus Christ.
I don't know if this is working or not.
Why is my mic also showing up on my desk? Oh, and it stopped doing that. Maybe it's just, thingy. I don't know. Anyway, Discord seems to be a lot better now with that, so I'll just put this back to 0. Right, one thing that I'm also not really liking is just you can't click scroll. You can't press the middle click button and scroll around. That is not very nice. I know, like, don't get me wrong, like, it's pretty nice, but it feels sort of, it feels very clunky at the moment. I mean, that might just be because I've got OBS running and it's horribly unoptimized, but, it just feels very not smooth, to be honest. But, like, you know. Well, I'm back, and I got the NVIDIA drivers installed, and I do have to say things are running a bit smoother, and by that I mean, take OBS for example, it's still not running at 60 frames, but we're getting a smooth enough 30 frames that sometimes spikes up to around 40. It's still not ideal, but there is a way to get the NVEC encoder for OBS. You just have to compile your own FFmpeg thing, which is something that, like, I might do. I don't know if I'm really bothered, and I'm not sure how necessary it is, but I don't know, I want this to look good, so. Unfortunately, we had no luck getting the NVEC encoder to work, but at that point, just like my other monitor, I didn't really care anymore. Now, with the majority of the applications I wanted installed, it was finally time to theme the operating system and use it how I want to use it. Now, luckily, one of my friends, Jake or Tech Fan, sent me a terminal command that turned the dock into more of a taskbar looking thing that I could fully customize and make it look the way I want it to look. And while we're on the topic of this, I do want to thank Jake and Reese. You'll know them if you're on the Discord server. They've just been a massive help and have helped me get a lot of the stuff working and just made this experience a lot smoother for me. So again, I just want to thank them. And this is just a reminder, if you haven't already, make sure to join the Discord server. The link is in the description. That'd be much appreciated. Now, with the operating system properly themed, I installed other programs like Spotify. I found a pretty shitty RDP client called Remina RDP, but it worked nonetheless for connecting to my home server. And when it came to doing stuff like managing my VPS, it was actually a lot easier to do. Because it's a Linux VPS, I could just SSH in from terminal because it's Unix, rather than having to find an SSH client like PuTTY, like I would if I was on Windows. And that's one of the things I just find really convenient about using Linux and macOS, but again, it's not really a big deal. It's not really that much more convenient. It's just sort of nice to know that it's built in, I guess. For taking screenshots, there was a built-in screenshotting tool, but I decided to use this program called KShare, which is basically like a Schneid ShareX. If you don't know what ShareX is, it's basically a really good screenshotting application on Windows that lets you do quite a lot of stuff and lets you upload to pretty much anywhere you want to. Like, you can have your own uploader, you could use FTP. Now, KShare, although it wasn't that great when it came to uploading stuff, for taking basic screenshots, it was pretty good and worked alright. Now, I don't even know why I'm including this section, but we're going to be talking about gaming. Now, gaming on Linux is even worse than gaming on macOS, and if you're going to be using Linux or macOS, you shouldn't really be expecting to play many games more than like Minecraft and I know Roblox. Now, I've been playing like a few games recently. Obviously, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite just because, you know, who hasn't been playing Fortnite? And there was a brief time where I bought Cluster Truck. In fact, it was around the time I did this challenge, I was just, for some reason, I was just playing a lot of Cluster Truck. So, you know, I knew I'd have to go a week without pretty much any gaming, and there wasn't Fortnite on mobile or anything because this is at the start of March. So I sort of just had to not play games for a week, which wasn't really that big of a deal. But I did download Minecraft and try it out, and it was pretty smooth. It wasn't 60 frames, which was a bit disappointing, but I mean, after OBS, I wasn't really expecting too much good performance from Ubuntu as it was. I don't have creative, so I don't have creative. It ran pretty smooth. As a test, I decided to see what recording it would be like with OBS, and it wasn't smooth at all, as you can tell from my sarcasm. Oh yeah, this is really smooth. Oh. Not only did Minecraft only run at 30 frames per second, but my computer was also really laggy when Minecraft was open. Like, it's Minecraft, it shouldn't be lagging the entire computer, but oh well, I guess that's Ubuntu for you. As a joke, I installed Wine to see how far I could get with trying to install Fortnite. I already know it wouldn't work, but I thought I'd do it for shits and giggles. So we can't really play Fortnite. I really want to cash in on that Fortnite money and clickbait the video, like playing Fortnite on Linux and get like bare peat. I also tried getting other stuff working under Wine, such as ShareX. I didn't really get far with that either. It was just sort of errors and crashing all the time. Now, from what you've seen so far, you probably think that Linux is working pretty well for me, and I've had no real issues and everything seems to be working more or less fine. Well, that's where you're wrong. That was such a shit meme, I'm sorry. Now, Ubuntu Budgie seemed to work fine for me. You know, I could chill on Discord, I could web browse, I suppose, listen to music, you know, just normal stuff like that. I couldn't really play games or video edit, but if there's one thing that has completely ruined my experience and has totally put me off ever using Linux, or at least this specific distro, ever again as any sort of desktop operating system, it would be the sheer amount of bugs. Now, Ubuntu Budgie is not the most stable distro ever. It's generally known among all the Linux users that Ubuntu Budgie is not the most stable distro ever, but I had way more issues with this than I thought I would. And for now, I am just going to show you just a lovely little collection of clips that I have over the week showcasing some of my issues with Ubuntu Budgie. So, you know, I was just downloading stuff and, you know, everything freezes. This is just such a clusterfuck, honestly. Well, it looks like I'm not coming back after that crash. Oh, this is such a fucking pain. I was installing AnyDesk through the thing. I downloaded it from the official website, and it's completely fucked it up. Oh shit. I just pressed the power button. I think it's shutting down. Yeah. Maybe I thought I'd be lucky there, but no. Ubuntu, advanced options for Ubuntu. Ubuntu recovery mode. Well, let's see how far this gets us. If it just gives me a bash terminal, I'm going to be very sad. Because there's not much I could do with that. Clean. Run, failsafe. Repair broken packages. If this resets everything, I'm going to be really sad. This was meant to be an easy video. Well, on the plus side, we got AnyDesk installed. You know, maybe it did break the entire install, and nothing else is being detected now. But there's one plus side, I suppose. Yeah, it's just doesn't have any sort of display drivers anymore. Oh yeah, lad, this is just working. Now, to be fair on Ubuntu Budgie, the majority of the arse fuckery I was having with Ubuntu Budgie was actually caused by TeamViewer. I mean AnyDesk. Now, AnyDesk is a bit of software that I use quite a lot when I'm doing stuff with my friends and I need to see their computer, or I need to help them do something, or they need to see my computer, or they need to help me with something. They just connect me with AnyDesk, or I connect to them with AnyDesk. It's basically like a good way of sharing your screen when you're in a Discord voice chat and you can't just like turn on video or whatever, or if you only want a certain person seeing your screen. It's generally a lot better and more straightforward to use than TeamViewer. But TeamViewer works on Linux and macOS so much better than AnyDesk does. To put it into perspective, if you're going to use AnyDesk on macOS, it works fine for connecting to people, but then if someone connects to you, then your Mac just goes really laggy, and they have full control of your computer because there's no mouse override like there is on Windows and Linux. But the Linux version may have a more functional GUI than the version on macOS, and has cursor blocking so people don't have full control of your computer. But AnyDesk is broken to shit. AnyDesk is the reason why my system kept locking up, is the reason why I couldn't click on so many things and the entire operating system stopped working and I couldn't type. And it happened countless times because I was always using AnyDesk. I use AnyDesk a lot and it was such a pain. But the worst part is it did this even if no one was connected to me. All you had to do was have AnyDesk open, and this issue would happen. I would just be watching someone else's computer through AnyDesk, and my entire system would just lock up, and I couldn't do anything, and it was so annoying. And, you know, I only found this out near the end of my time, and I was so annoyed and fed up with the system constantly crashing and me not being able to do stuff, and it was all AnyDesk's fault. And how do I know this? Well, it always happened when I was on AnyDesk. It never happened when AnyDesk wasn't opened, as you can see from the footage. I spoke to Jake about it, somebody who swears by this distro, and he said AnyDesk completely breaks it. And when he uses AnyDesk, he RDPs his server and uses AnyDesk, which is a bit long. AnyDesk, I hate you. I love you when I'm on Windows, but you just suck on macOS and Linux. A lot of the time, I find myself using TeamViewer when I'm on macOS to have people connect to me, because AnyDesk just degrades performance. And on Linux, well, at least Ubuntu Budgie, it just kills your system, apparently. Now, even without AnyDesk, the system still wasn't that stable. I still had random freezes occasionally, but apparently that seems to be a special Snowflake issue. Now, again, I said earlier that it's not the most stable distro, but according to a lot of other people who use Ubuntu Budgie, they didn't have the same issues as me, so I'm not sure what that was about. I suppose Linux just isn't the operating system for me, and I did not need to do this challenge to figure that out. With the end of the week coming up, I was so glad I didn't have to use Linux anymore. I was so fed up of all the crashing and the AnyDesk issues that I didn't even know about. The moment I got home on Monday, I just booted straight into Windows and just forgot about it. I did not spend a second longer than I needed to on Ubuntu. And as I booted back into Windows, I had never appreciated it so much. I still have the Ubuntu partition on my hard drive. I am yet to delete it. I suppose when I need space, that's what I'll do. Now again, sorry for not uploading for 3 months. I know that's basically the norm now on this channel, and I hate that that's the way things are. But I've actually been very busy recently, and for a good reason, and this will be the last video I will be making in quite a long time, a good couple weeks, and that is because I have my GCSEs. If you don't know what GCSEs are, they're basically really important exams that you take near the end of your school time in year 11, which is what I am, age 15 to 16. And the grades you get off your GCSEs are basically what you carry around with you for the rest of your life, so hopefully that explains how important they are. So I need to actually focus on getting good results, which is something I'm not very good at, rather than making videos for this channel, because this isn't going to last the rest of my life, unfortunately. But what that does mean is I will have an extended summer and a lot of time to basically do exactly what I want, so hopefully you will see some content there. I'm also very active on Twitter, so if you want to follow me there. You can also join the Discord, link in the description, discord.io/Novus. But in the next couple of weeks, expect to see 1 or 2 live streams, because, you know, live streams are low effort fun, you know. I will be doing a few of them, because, you know, I don't want this channel to turn into basically like a live streaming channel. But, you know, I will be doing some live streams occasionally, so look forward to that, I suppose. Not that anyone will, because no one really watches my live streams, but, you know. And of course, thank you for making it so far in the video. I know this video was quite long, and of course I did spend a lot of time on this video. Of course I had to spend an entire week on an operating system that I didn't really enjoy using, not to mention the amount of time just putting this together. It took way longer than I thought, so it really mean a lot to me if you were to like the video. And of course, check out the video sponsor, PINGHOST.io. Really fucking cheap VPSs, cheap and reliable. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, of course, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Thank you for watching again, and peace out.